Hello! I just want to say hello to the five-fish fangirls. No, that's wrong. I want to say hello to the five-ish fangirls. Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Yes, that's
Yes,
correct.
that's
Anyway,
correct.
hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello. That's five hellos to the five-fish-ish fangirls. Bye.
This is Sophie Aldred, who was Ace in the series Doctor Who, the Five Ish Fangirls podcast. No, hang on a minute. The Five Fish. No, Sylvester's done that one already. Five Fish Fangirls podcast. The Five ISH Fangirls. No. Hang on a minute. Hang on. The Five-ish Fangirls podcast. You are listening to the tangents and squee will continue.
The tangents and squee continue all the way to episode number 59 of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. And considering what we're going to be talking about this week, we're probably going to break the first cardinal rule of this podcast and have Doctor Who Legacy open while recording. We'll try not to get distracted.
Not like I haven't had it on all day.
Yeah, pretty much so. Welcome everyone to this week's episode of this. Let's start off like we do every week by going around the virtual table and see who's joined us this week.
This is Chrissy in Salt Lake City.
This is Mitch in Kitchener, Ontario.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hello everyone. Chrissy is back, but we lost Brittany and Holly. Only temporarily.
I don't know what that says about me or them or anything. Just that they're business.
I think more than anything it says that 4 out of 5 of us have a life. Maybe. I don't know what that says about me. Brittany, I know. Oh,
she's at the Giants Jets preseason game, and I am jealous as crap about that because I love the New York Giants and I love football, and I've never been to a professional football game before, and yeah. So when she said she got tickets, I was like, jealousness. but she seems to be having a good time, which I will not begrudge her.
Yeah, based on the pictures
she's
been
posting. Well, she just sent a
posting.
message through on Facebook saying that the Giants lost to the Jets.
Oh no!
Oh, bummer.
Well, that's what the preseason is for.
But she still had fun.
It's only the preseason.
They don't count.
But still, they don't. But still, it's like you don't want your team to lose.
Preferably no.
Oh well.
But I knew somebody at one point that was all like, "Yes, lose all of the preseason games, get the losing out of your system before the regular season starts." Well, I'm glad that she had fun regardless. So, and Holly is out celebrating with her aunt, I think. It's an aunt that's getting married, I think. Some family member is getting married, and they're having hen night, I think, and that's what they're out doing. So, hopefully she is having fun as well. And with any luck, Brittany and Holly will be with us next week.
Yep.
By then, hopefully, Brittany's voice will have returned. Because she said more than likely she would have no voice.
Yes.
Well, next week
how
we're
that
recording on Sunday. So, wait, we're recording a little later because... Wait, no, I don't know.
Yeah.
Never mind.
We'll figure that out.
Yeah, we'll
on the
figure
fly
it out.
like we always do.
Yeah,
Forget
pretty
about
much.
that.
Yeah.
You think we're all organized
Alrighty.
behind the scenes. You have no idea. Anyway, let's move on to news. Beginning with convention announcements. As Chrissy was anxiously awaiting after the announcement that Alex Kingston had to pull out of Salt Lake Comic-Con. They were teasing a replacement, if you can even replace River Song, which you really can't, but a new plot. And they made the announcement earlier this week, and Chrissy was very excited.
Yes, I was.
Because they are getting...
I don't think I'm going to get to meet her, but
yeah.
oh I might. I'll see.
Yep. So Salt Lake Comic Con, they're getting Jenna Coleman, which I saw the announcement and I was like, oh, cool. Then my second thought was, oh, Steve Rogers is in trouble now.
That is true. Yes, because Haley Atwell.
Yep.
She confirmed, and because Jenna was there.
Yeah.
Yay.
So.
Yeah, I don't know that Jenna was necessarily a replacement for Alex Kingston. That it might have been that they had her.
That's true
possibly scheduled, and then it just happened that way. And I have to say, since I wasn't here last week to commiserate over the news, because I was extremely bummed that Alex Kingston had to bow out. I'm cosplaying as River Song. River Song is like, well, I could probably work a Fem 6 costume with the curly hair, but that's another thing. But anyway, River Song's one of the few Doctor Who characters I could cosplay without having to do anything drastic to my hair, because I've got like tight curly hair, and it's like, and I'm doing her cowboy western outfit.
The Utah outfit.
The Utah outfit.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited.
How appropriate.
I was thinking about getting a photo up with Alex, or at least a picture with her at her table in that costume, but then she wasn't going to be there, and I was like, dang it. But I'm still going to cosplay as River Song because I got all the stuff for it. I might as well. I put all the work into it, so.
Mm-hmm.
I even have a River Song diary, although I got that at Galley a couple of years ago. So that's going to be a thing. But anyway, hey, Jenna Coleman. So we have Arthur Darvill and Jenna Coleman. So we basically have the 11th Doctor's era fairly well represented.
Mm-hmm.
Which I was commenting on about having at Fan Expo, because we've got Karen Gillan and Jenna Coleman.
Yep.
And I'm hopefully going to get Jan Coleman's autograph.
Yep.
On my Deep
awesome.
Breath Cinema poster.
Nice. There you go.
And with any luck, both of you will get close enough to Jenna to realize how tiny and adorable she is. Like I've said before, she's like a squirrel. I want to put her in my purse.
I know how tall she. Like I know her height.
Yeah.
Like in a theoretical manner.
But not until you see her in person do you realize how tiny she is. Jenna is tiny.
See that in person.
Yes.
Especially since
it's always
she's going to be doing a panel with Karen Gillan, so they're going to walk on stage and the height difference.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Jenna is going to.
Karen is tall.
Yes.
She is like
Karen
tall,
is
bottle-esque.
Karen is
Oh
taller
my gosh.
than me. Okay, and
She's taller
I'm
than
not
me.
short, but Karen is taller than me.
That's taller than
that's
me, and I am
good.
way not short.
That's definitely taller than me. And Jenna is shorter than me, so. And I'm average height, if that tells you
Jenna
anything.
is tiny.
She is. She's super tiny, but that's neither here nor there.
But she is coming to Salt Lake, and I'm excited.
Yes.
Anyway.
But I just thought that was funny. That the first thing I thought of was, well, what's Steve Rogers going to do? He's going to have the gal that he was late for his dance date with, and the gal that he ditched at Stark Expos.
That's true, yes. Oh my goodness.
I thought
I hope
Jenna's
they both
character
crash
was
and
there
stab.
with Bucky.
Either way, she got ditched.
Yes, because Bucky did wander off for a while to, convince Steve not to apply for the army again, and Steve didn't listen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Steve
True.
and Bucky.
So it was
Those boys.
Steve's fault, regardless of whether she was with him or not.
Exactly.
Yes. I'll have to go back and watch that movie again.
Yeah.
Oh dear, I have to go back and watch Captain America.
Oh,
What shall
darn.
I do?
Anyway.
Oh, is me.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Also in other conventions, at Time Eddy, which is also quickly coming up, they just announced that Fraser Hines is going to be a guest. And apparently Katie Manning had to cancel. Unfortunately, she's signed on to do a play. But they got Fraser Hines, and because
She
they
was talking about that when she was on Adipose TV.
yeah, on Twitch,
this past
but
Thursday.
they also are having what's his name, Bill, that's the Patrick Troughton lookalike, and they posted on their Facebook page that after they announced that Frasier was coming, it's like now that they've got Bill Burr filling in as Patrick Troughton, they can recreate a screenshot from the two doctors, because Colin Baker and Nicola Bryant are going to be there. So.
Oh, I like this.
Yeah.
I like this plan. And if you're going to Time Eddie, go meet Fraser. He's awesome. I met him several times over the course of my weekend at Galley, and he's a treat.
Mm-hmm.
He's wonderful.
He is. I love that he goes to all the conventions. Mm-hmm. Jamie McCrimmon.
Mm-hmm.
Adorable little Scott you.
Yeah. And then Chicago TARDIS just announced Nicholas Briggs, Richard Franklin, and John Levine as guests. So
yay, unit! And the Daleks.
You can get your unit fill.
Yes. Most definitely.
Yeah. Richard Franklin and John Levine are really nice as well. I met them at Galley 2014.
I have not met any of them yet, and Nicholas Briggs was supposed to be Chicago TARDIS the year I went, and he had to cancel last minute, which made me sad, but my wallet happy.
Yep, I met Nicholas Briggs the time I went to Galley. He was actually the first person I got a picture with, because it was like LobbyCon, and he was having dinner at not the really nice restaurant, in the Champions Bar, and we were just kind of hanging out in there, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's Nicholas Briggs. I'm like, I gotta go get a picture with him. And it was like my first real convention experience, because Galley was the first one I'd ever been to, and like meeting people, I was just like, what do I do? And the people I was with, that was before I met up with Sean and Mel, and they're like, well, go take a picture with him. We'll take it for you. And I was like, okay. Man, I was so green on that year, but it was fun. But anyway, yes, Nicholas Briggs, he's good people.
Mm-hmm.
Great guy.
He tweeted me once on Twitter in response to the question.
Nice.
Yeah, we were Friday Night Who. I don't know what we were watching. There's some new Who with Daleks in it, and I just happened to mention in my tweet, it was like, does Nicholas Briggs voice every single Dalek? And he tweeted me back and said yes, and the married ones too.
Nice. I love we all got that.
Yeah. So yes, Nicholas Briggs.
Married ones too.
Very funny gentleman.
Daleks even get married. Do they care about such things?
Oh my. No. Yes, so.
Well, and then on non-Doctor Who convention news,
Yeah.
Rupert Grint has been confirmed for Fan Expo next weekend. So he's going to be doing a Hogwarts reunion panel with Tom Felton and the Phelps twins. So, and also Fan Expo, they were not able to get a replacement for Billy Piper, but they're going to go on with the Evening with the Doctor's Companions special event anyways, with just Karen and Jenna. So,
Which should still be a good time.
it should still be a good time.
Yeah.
And I am volunteering, and I'm going to be on the in the part of the convention where the celebrity panels are happening. So if I can get on the so if I'm volunteering on the hall where, like, I'm on the level 100 programming, and there's 2 rooms. So if I'm on the room where the Evening with the Doctor's Companions panel is being held, I'll be able to get in for free, just like I got in this special event for free last year.
Nice.
So
Do it.
Bonus.
Bonus.
Or,
Bonus.
See what you get when you volunteer.
Yeah.
yeah,
If you can.
If you can volunteer at a convention, do it.
Mm-hmm.
There are amazing perks. Like, one of the perks this year for Fan Expo is that we're all going to this after party at the CNE. Like, when I went to orientation a couple weeks ago, they announced that they're buying tickets for they got tickets for all the volunteers for the CNE for Sunday night, which the CNE is the Canadian National Exhibition. It takes place every time around every year around this time.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I've never actually gone, but this year I'm gonna get to go because I'm volunteering.
Woohoo.
So,
Yay!
yay!
Yeah, I was gonna
And
ask
also,
what's CNE?
plugging Fan Expo. If you are going to Fan Expo, look for me. I'm gonna be, well, all over when I'm not volunteering, but when I am volunteering, I'm on level 100 programming. So if you see me, say hi. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Go say hi to Mitch. She's awesome.
Yay. Yeah. I don't bite.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I guess we can move on from convention
Yep.
to filming news for Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which will begin filming next February. So,
Yay!
Yay.
Civil War finished up, didn't they?
They finished like
They probably
the
did a long time
primary
ago, and I just-
primary filming. They'll
I haven't been paying attention.
yeah. You know how it is with those things. They'll finish the primary filming, but then they'll have to do pickups and ADR and all that stuff. But the main majority is done.
Principal photography.
Yeah,
or
principal
filming
photography.
or whatever the
Yeah.
heck they call it.
I think it's
Anyway, proceed.
photography.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yep.
that's yeah. So director James Gunn officially revealed that the production of it on his Guardian sequel will begin in February 2016. While Gunn did not have a concrete set date, it looks like Guardians Volume 2 will begin in earnest next year. Many have speculated on what Gunn's next Guardians installment might include, or who might join the cast. We do know, however, that Star-Lord's mysterious father will at least not be the Spartax ruler Jisan as he is in Marvel's comics. It was also confirmed by Gunn this week that Vin Diesel will indeed return to voice Groot.
I am Groot.
Yay, Groot!
So, yay!
Now I'm gonna get a little geek
news. What?
I'm gonna get a little nerdy here, I guess, or pedantic, or whatever you want to call it. So in the first movie, it says his full name is Peter Jason Quill.
Yes.
Yet his dad is not this Jason guy in the movie. So I'm like, is that just an homage to the comics?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. I'm just pointing that out because I'm like, but wait, not that has to be that way. I know this thing. Anyway, that's all. That was like not very insightful from me.
It's fine.
Anyway.
It's fine. But yeah, so yay for more Guardians 2 news.
Woohoo!
I will take it because I love Guardians.
Me too.
Great.
I am Groot.
We are Groot.
We are Groot.
We are Groot. That's actually the name of my fantasy football team.
We are Groot. Nice.
Everyone else is like, the dogs or the adults. I'm like, we are Groot.
Mm-hmm.
And my avatar on ESPN.com is Dancing Baby Groot. I actually got the gift to work. And it moved.
Nice.
I didn't know it would move until I logged on because I had to set up for the draft, which is tomorrow. and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I'm such a nerd.
Which is why you're here.
Exactly. I would not be sitting here if I was not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alrighty. Whew, excuse me. Moving on to, we have this is official now. I didn't want to say anything last week because then nothing was official, but I can now because stuff has been signed. I know I shared this on our Facebook page, but the wonderful folks over at Who North America have finally found a property and have signed the paperwork and put in an offer, and the sellers accepted their offer, so they've signed the contract for their new property. And if everything goes well, knock on wood, because there's still stuff. Because there's still stuff that has to happen between now and then, things like site inspection and that sort of thing. But if everything goes well, they should be moving into the new property sometime in October. So
there's a building on site already and everything.
There's already building there. They have to make some upgrades for like disability access. But other than that, I've seen the layout of it on paper, and helps to know people. That and Janie just loves telling everybody that comes into the store all about it. It's way bigger. Right now their space is the shopping area and the warehouse are the same space, so it kind of looks like a Costco where you got the stuff to buy, and right above it is like the boxes of stuff. So now they'll actually have an actual storage space for stuff in the boxes and a better shopping area, which will be air conditioned and properly heated, which is good because last time we were there it was really hot in the warehouse. But they'll have more space for the museum. They're going to have space to hold like parties and like cosplay workshops, and the screening room will be bigger. So it's bigger, it's better. It's slightly further away from where they are now. It's closer to the airport, out in Plainfield, but it's 2 acres of land, and Janie has so many plans for it, for the outside and the inside, and she's so excited about it, and I'm excited for them. So cross your fingers, knock on wood that everything goes well and they can close on this thing. And so their open house next week, which is the weekend of Labor Day weekend, that Saturday will be more than likely their last open house probably for the year. So if you want to go to Who North America, this is probably going to be one of your last chances unless you go by appointment, because once everything gets rolling, they're going to have to pack everything up and move it. I've already been pulled in. Janie's already let me know. She's like, October, I'm going to need you. You come help move stuff. I'm like, okay. So, but it will take them some time to move everything, get it set up the way they want. So they may not be open again for the rest of the year, with the move and everything. But it's great, fantastic news. Assuming everything goes well, their GoFundMe is still alive and taking some donations. So if you find yourself with a few extra dollars to spare, please go ahead and do that, because one, it's always good to support Doctor Who related stuff because Doctor Who is awesome, but they are a local business. They're family owned, family run. They literally are family run. It is husband, wife, their kids, his parents, and volunteers that have become family. So if you're willing and able to help out a a family-run business. They're wonderful people and deserve all the growth and success that they've encountered in the last couple of years. And I'm excited to see the new place. And more than likely, I'll get to see it before it's open if I end up helping them move.
You'll probably end up, move the stock in the shelves.
They have the grand. Yeah, I'll be there at the grand opening, and I'll be like, yeah, I helped paint that wall. Yeah, more than likely.
That is fantastic news. I mean, I haven't been to Who North America. It's on the list of places I want to go see in Indianapolis when I finally get to go, whenever, someday, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just, hearing you talk about them and how well that they've treated our podcast and the publicity and what they've been so generous and having us giving us space to do things and have these opportunities. I mean, I'm really happy for them. I'm glad they're getting a new premises. Sounds like it'll be a good deal for them. So yay, Who North America, you guys rock.
Yep.
We love you.
Yes. Yay!
Yay!
All right. Moving on. Stuff that made me happy and made my husband mad.
Not in a bad way.
Not in a bad way.
But I can see where he would be a wee bit upset.
Yeah.
Yeah. New
air quotes trailer teaser.
New teaser.
Yeah.
For Star
Very
Wars.
very teaser.
Yeah.
Very teaser.
For,
I haven't seen it, but from what you were saying, it's only about 10 seconds. What?
yeah. It's
It was on Instagram.
yeah, it was literally on the official Star Wars Instagram. So, it kind of has to be short, but, and
But there's new footage.
There's clips that we haven't seen before, and I thought it was exciting, so I shared it, and then Chauncey comes home later, and he's all like, "Yeah, it was exciting, but as soon as I watched it, I was mad that I watched it." Because he doesn't. He feels like he's getting spoiled, and I'm like, "Honey, no." He's thoroughly convinced that he's figured out the plot completely. And honey, I love you, but no, you have not completely figured out the plot. I severely doubt that you have completely figured out the plot. He's like, I don't want to see anymore. I'm like, we still have 3.5 months to go. Good luck with that.
I don't know. When I watched all of Series 8 with my boyfriend a couple months ago, he was pretty good at guessing all the plot elements, just like the first 10 minutes of each episode, and I was just like, really?
Yeah, well,
because I'm like,
when I started showing my dad Doctor Who with Series 5, he guessed that Prisoner Zero was in that room because the door was open.
Well, I guess that's a good enough. That sounds like something Sherlock Holmes would say.
And isn't he? He's like, just watch.
Yeah.
Okay?
Like, just watch. You don't have all the details. Context.
Yeah.
Context.
I will say the only episode he did not guess the plot to was Kill the Moon, but that one's just bat crap insane that I don't think anyone could guess that.
that one's just weird.
Yeah. That's true.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All I have to say is the moon is an egg, and he just shakes his head. And I laugh.
It's like Dr. Who.
Yes, Steve, I love you.
Relationship with science has never been exactly strong, but
but that one was really difficult to swallow. even for me, who I'm like happy to hand wave anything away.
When the thing that was in the moon lays another egg the exact same size as the egg it just came out of.
Yeah, I know. Yep. My brain was already broke by the time that came along, so I was just like, whatever.
It's not physically possible.
No. Nope.
We're not gonna get into the science of
Okay,
Doctor. Back
to the news. Back to the news.
There's a whole special about the science of Doctor Who, and that was pre-Kill the Moon. So.
Yeah, we ignore that. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway.
News.
Yes.
News. So this is exciting. Or it's exciting to me. So, Avatar: The Last Airbender had 3 seasons, the first series, and that was all they needed to tell that particular story. However, it has continued on in comic book form, and there have been a really, really good comic book stories from this, and I'm like, but this one, because I love Zuko, because he's like my favorite, and, well, it's between Zuko and Sokka. I can't decide which one is my favorite on a day-to-day basis, and that is as it should be, I think. But there is a new graphic novel series that is going to explore the reign of Fire Lord Zuko, and I'm like, yes, I want this. Give it to me. I take my money. Take it all. Just, I want it. Because
you already have the other series? The other comic series?
Well, I got it from the library. But
makes sense.
This one I might actually purchase.
I've seen them in my local comic book store, but I haven't actually picked any of them up.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. Well, what's interesting is because they had a series earlier that was about finding Zuko's mom, because at the end of the series, the TV series, spoilers, for 8 years ago, it revealed that his father was actually alive somewhere, and so there was one that was called The Search, and they were looking for his mom, and it was actually kind of a cool story. Well, like I said, they were all very cool, but this one, this is because Zuko's dad, he was the one that was trying to take over the world and kill the Avatar, and he turned out to be this crazy dictator. Wanted to, he didn't want to be the Fire Lord anymore. He wanted to be the Phoenix King and rule the whole entire world and throw everything off balance. And Zuko actually fought against him. Anyway, Zuko's a very interesting character in the series. So after Fire Lord Ozai is defeated, Zuko becomes Fire Lord, and he rules as benevolent great ruler, and he's friends with the Avatar, and they're bringing peace and balance to the world and everything. So that's why this is interesting, and especially because in Legend of Korra, we didn't get very much Fire Lord Zuko. Well, he was retired by then, and his daughter was Fire Lord by then. But anyway, so I like that they're continuing these in the comics, just because I want to see more of my favorite characters. And now they need a series with Sokka and Suki, and tell me what the heck happened to those two, because they never did. And I was very, I don't want to say disappointed, but I wanted it. But anyway, so new graphic novel, Avatar: The Last Airbender, Fire Lord Zuko, give it to me. Want it. And then our last bit of news, and I'm only including this because it's the last series of it, is there's a trailer for the final season of Downton Abbey, and it is going to premiere on September 20th on ITV in the UK. They haven't announced a premiere date for PBS in America, but if past seasons are anything to go by, it'll probably be January, because by then they will have had the Christmas special. If they are doing a Christmas special, I haven't heard. They probably aren't, because it's probably it. But usually it's around New Year's is when it premieres. So the trailer is actually very sad, and I think even people who haven't watched Downton Abbey religiously might feel a little verklempt, saying, oh, this is over, because they make a big deal about, doors closing and all these things. There's very sad music and all these things are happening. Although, and maybe I shouldn't get my hopes up, because they've been very mean to Edith throughout this entire series, and I want her to have some happiness. But it looks like she might finally get a little bit of joy in her life. I don't know, but it's just a trailer, maybe just teasing me, because that's what trailers do. But I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of Lady Mary getting everything. Let's let Lady Edith have some good fortune for once. Come on. Anyway,
Give the people
so
what they want.
Give the people what they want. Yes. So if you watch Downton Abbey, if that's a thing that is in your realm of interest, there's a trailer. Go watch it and have tissues handy, because it is quite fun.
I think I watched like the first 2 episodes, and it didn't hold my attention.
I think it. Yeah. To be fair, I think it is time for the series to end. I think they are pretty much done. I mean, honestly, they've had so many time leaps. I think Maggie Smith's character, Lady Violet, is probably in her hundreds by now.
Yeah.
But because the series started like the day the Titanic sank, and now they're well into the late 20s, and she was quite old, or supposed to be quite old back then, but she was just so delightfully snarky that you can't like don't get rid of Lady. There was a short time where there was a scare where the character's health was not good, and I thought, no, you're not going to kill off Grandma, are you? You can't do that. Anyway, so final season of Downton Abbey is coming, and there will be tears, but I think it's time. Anyway,
yeah,
that's the news.
Alrighty then. So the poll for the book club is up for another 2 days at the time as of the time we're recording. So we'll have a new book club announcement, I'm sure, by next week. And I don't know if Brittany has figured out what we're going to do for next month's photo challenge. It may just be a free-for-all. You're just going to post whatever you want every day. That's my idea. I'm going to throw that out there. Unless Brittany's thought of something and she hasn't mentioned it.
I kind of fell off the wagon with the Disney one, which I feel bad about, because I'm like, this should be easy. But somehow I got lost.
Yeah.
Oh well. It's been a hectic month.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah.
But still hectic.
Well, who knows? We'll figure it out and stay tuned to our Facebook page, and when we know something, we'll post it. How's that? Yep. Alrighty then. Well, with that, let's get on to this week's topic, and I'm already getting distracted because I have it open in front of me. This is going to be terrible.
Yep. It's going to be awful, but it's going to be fun.
Yes.
So, Doctor Who Legacy, everybody.
Yes.
This is
just released version 3.0.
3.0.
Which
and
is
apparently there were
awesome.
A couple of glitches, but with the new rollout of anything, you kind of expect that to happen. But I really only played like Sonic Adventures and the Trial of the Kids thing. I was working through the expert levels before this rolled out, so I'm still kind of in that mode of trying to get all the expert characters. But so far, I am enjoying 3.0. What I've been able to do.
Mm-hmm.
Which today, barring some errands and an hour and a half long nap, which was not planned, I've been playing this all day.
Yeah. So, I guess for anyone that's not familiar with Doctor Who Legacy, it is a mobile game, although you can play it on Facebook now too, or at least you could at one point.
No, you still can.
Okay. So it's a mobile game available on Android and Apple for your iPhone, iPad, smartphone, whatever you got. But
it's also on you can play it on your Kindle Fire, so it's also on Amazon.
Yeah.
If that's how you roll.
I've got all Apple, so
Yeah.
that's all I know.
Do too. I have it on my iPad. I used to play it on my phone, but then I got an iPad, and dude, it's pretty on the iPad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
I deleted it from my phone because I'm like, I never play it on my phone anymore.
The screen's too small.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Now it is for me. Like before, all I had was my iPhone.
Yeah. So the basic premise gameplay of the game is essentially it's a gem matching game. So if you're familiar with things like Bejeweled, it's in the same vein, but it's so much more than that.
It really is. And let me put it this way, because I played Pokemon. In fact, I still do play Pokemon, although not as much as I used to. It's about like putting together, like when you're putting together your teams for, because what you do is you start out with, you have a doctor in your team, and you can, there's two components of a team. You pick the doctor that you want to play, whichever incarnation of the doctor, and then you have five other companions that you can play as. And I'm looking through, I don't know how many companions I have. I have a lot. Because this game rolled out around the time of the 50th anniversary, like maybe November, December of 2013. And it started out pretty bare bones. It was free, plus there was an option to buy the fan area, but it wasn't necessary because you could play all through the levels without, dropping a dime on this.
Right.
So it was, and as I understand it, I'm not a hardcore gamer. I do know hardcore gamers. I'm dating a hardcore gamer, and the Vortex boys, Traveling the Vortex, they've talked about this before, how it's a freemium game, and there's some games that, like, you get to a certain level, and then, like, to play more, spend $20 on this, and people get really ticked off about that.
Mm-hmm.
That is not this game. It is, you can play all you want without ever spending any money on it.
Exactly.
But if you choose to, you can unlock the fan area, and now with version 3.0, you can unlock, there's a kids area, which is it looks cute. I haven't unlocked it yet, but there's a trial. And then the Sonic Adventures, which I have unlocked, and is actually quite fun, because I like the way that the Sonic characters look. They're very shiny and pretty, and that was kind of the impetus behind me dropping $10 on the Sonic Adventures. And now I'm up to where I can get the 5th Doctor Sonic Screwdriver, which I'm like, yay!
Reunited and it feels so good.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to the time when I can pair up all the Doctors with their Sonic implements, and I'm like, yee! Except 6 and 7 won't really have them. That's okay.
Yeah.
Think of something.
Maybe the 7th Doctor they'll put in his umbrella. They both have umbrellas. They can have umbrellas.
Because they did get the first Doctor signet ring, and that's his Sonic device. Even though in the story, in the game, it's not. He says, even though it's not the same Sonic technology, it can do the same things. So there's kind of a little bit of a fan fiction-y headcanon sort of sideways way of doing this, of the way they've been doing it, which is really awesome.
That's kind of based on the fact that in the Dallas Master Plan, the Doctor was able to use it to the TARDIS when the monk tried to lock him out. But
that is true.
That's more to do with the fact that the properties of the ring interacted with the specific properties of the sunlight on the planet they were on.
You are correct.
And normally it doesn't. So, yeah.
Yes. The artwork is for the ring. It's like, I like it. It's beautiful.
It's very pretty. The Sonic ring artwork.
Yep. And a lot of, like, the artwork for a lot of the characters is fantastic. Like, well, one thing they've been able to do is with the new Titans comics, they've done some special things with that. Like, they actually, for the 11th and 10th Doctors, they actually had the artist, and I forget her name all of a sudden, that does the comic book covers for Titan. She actually did a special portrait, although I think it was on the comics, now that I think about it, on the cover of the comics, and they implemented, or they integrated that into, like, because you can change the costumes of some of the characters, mostly the doctors, although some of the companions have costumes. So for Doctor Who Comics Day, which was a couple of weeks ago, or was it last week? I don't remember, but they had a code, and they do promo codes all the time, and you can get, certain characters, or you can get time fragments or time crystals, or other things that you use throughout the game. And you can you build teams based on because they each have special abilities that power up as you play the game.
Kind of like Pokemon.
And then, so it's like Pokemon, like I was saying, and you can, and actually because each character has a color, at least one color assigned to it. When you get to a certain level, you get two colors, or some of them they do like I'm looking at my expert 11th Doctor that's leveled up to level 5, level 50. But he's blue. His primary color is blue, and his secondary color also is blue. I don't know how I feel about that, having the same color as the secondary, but whatever. So they have that, and so the colors are red, yellow, blue, black, and yellow. Wait, I did see yellow. Yeah. Green. That was the other one I was missing. Yep. So your enemies also have those gem colors assigned to them. So when you match up the gems, it's like you have a blue character, you match up at least three blue gems in a row, they get points, and then they attack the characters. So say you have a blue character in your team, and you're going up against a red character, the blue character will actually have more power over the red character. So I think it was Adipose on YouTube that he does the tutorials. He actually said it's like, I don't think he said Pokemon, but that's what I thought of. Like if you have blue is water, and it has more power over red, which is fire, but it wouldn't have as much. It would have less effectiveness against a green character, which is like a leaf, if that makes sense, sort of thing. So there's kind of an elemental. They don't say it in the game, but that's a good way to remember it. So if you're trying to put together a team, or if you're on a level that you're like, oh my gosh, I can't get past this. These are so hard, and I'm losing health. I can't do this. Look at your team. Look at the colors, the gem colors of your characters. And with yellow and black is kind of an interesting one, because I think of it as like light and darkness, because yellow and black kind of fight against each other a little bit. It's kind of an interesting way of doing it. But it will also tell you, because like if you're in a level and you highlight, you tap on an enemy and it'll have a target over it. There's little arrows that'll pop up on your characters in the team, and if it's an up arrow, that means that character has an advantage against this particular enemy. If it's a down arrow, it has a disadvantage. If there's no arrow, it's just flat. It'll attack it, but it's like, doesn't really matter. But so anyway, that's kind of the basics of it.
Yeah. It's fairly easy to learn, and a good thing now with 2.0 and now 3.0 is, especially with 3.0, now that they have the kids area, so even the adults can play it. If you want to get more comfortable with the gameplay, you can play in the kids area, and there's a couple of levels that are in the fan area, I think, Anna's playground, which are kid friendly levels.
Yes.
Because for me, like a lot of the game when I first started playing, a lot of it was intuitive, but some of it wasn't, and it wasn't till I was playing for the longest time before I realized that as you're moving the gems around, that the gem that you're currently moving, there's a little countdown letting you know you only have so much time to move the gem before it stops wherever your finger is. And I didn't realize that for the longest
Yeah,
time.
you can't sit around and just spin and spin and spin forever. You have to actually do a thing. But one thing that's different about this that I like that's different from Bejeweled, and I play Bejeweled a lot. Shut up, I do. Is that you can move. Like, you can move your gem all the way across the board, and in doing so, you can manipulate other gem patterns.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to just attack with like your one blue character, and everybody else has to not help. You can have everybody attack if you have the gems, and you can have the time to manipulate the formats, and it takes some practice. So that's why, if you do have the fan area open or unlocked, you can do, like, it's called Anna's Playground, and that's the one that Rachel was talking about that's kid friendly. Or there's also target practice, where it's just there's an enemy that doesn't lose any health, and you just pound at it, and it doesn't do anything. It's a good way for you to practice, like, seeing how a team works together with their these certain color combinations, or just as a way for you to get in the groove of knowing how to play. But even if you don't have the fan area yet, just even in the early areas of Chapter 1, or the earlier levels there, I mean, it walks you through it. I mean, there's a certain amount of hand holding to kind of get you used to it. And if you want to go back and replay those really early areas, and sometimes I do, because I'll have characters that are just at level 1 and I'm trying to level them up, or and I need somewhere easy to get some time fragments, and I'm sick of the farming levels in the fan area. I will, because those do get tedious. But I'll go back to some of those early ones just to mix it up, and they're like ridiculously easy. I don't get a lot of experience points. I don't get a lot of XP for them, but it's like, hey, remember when I was like so brand new at this and had no idea what I was doing? Good times.
Yeah. Exactly. And this is not a dig on Doctor Who Legacy. That's just me as someone who's not really into video games, but the game itself, it can get tedious, especially if it's a level where either your team may be the right combination of characters, but they're just not quite strong enough, you can't quite beat it, or it's a level where you're trying to get something to drop, and you play the same level over and over and over and over and over, and you don't get the drop, and you're ready to just punch the screen.
There is one level, it's Cybermen and Daleks. I don't play that one, and I will tell you why. Because it was New Year's Eve 2013. Yes, it was New Year's Eve 2013. And I'd been playing this game all over Christmas break, and I was like obsessed, and I just loved it. And then all of a sudden I hit that level, and they have levels that are timed levels. Not all of them are timed, but there are a few that if you don't beat it by a certain when the timer hits 0, you lose all your health and you're done, and you have to start over. And this one, I don't know. I mean, I had like my strongest team put together, and I had them all leveled up, and I had all these things, and for some reason, and it's got a lot of waves of enemies in that one, and like the timing wasn't enough, and this was before they introduced characters that could increase timers, or I just didn't have one or something. And it took me, I swear, over 100 times playing this level to pass it, because I always ran out of time. In fact, I know there were at least 2 times where I beat it right as the timer ran out, and Ty goes to the timer, apparently, because it wouldn't let me go forward, and I was, like, driving me nuts, and I was at my friend's house at a New Year's Eve party, like, put that away, come talk to us. And I was like, no, I have to beat this level. Yeah. I was so mad. So even now, like, I'm sure I could beat it, like, no problem now, because I have, like, I've done all these expert levels and all these other things. I still hate that level, and I will not go back and play it. I'm like, I am done with you, stupid blankety-blanking, blarging, whatever. I hate it. I'm looking at it right now. I'm not playing it. I'm just looking at it on the list, and I'm like, ooh, you thing. And this is one, and the time levels, time crystals do not help you, because sometimes if you lose all your health, you can spend 2 time crystals and, start over. Yeah, you spend 2 time crystals on a time level that you lost because you ran out of time, doesn't do anything. It's pointless. Don't waste your time crystals. Those things are precious.
Mm. Absolutely. Advantage to getting further along in the game is if you do go back and play previous levels to gain XP, because they will do like special weeks or weekends. Like this weekend, get double XP on all chapter 1 or whatever they're using now for the things.
It's chapters.
Yeah, on all chapter 1 levels, and you're like, sweet, but if you finished all chapter 1, you know which ones to avoid.
Yes.
You know which ones you can beat easily enough just to get the XP and the fragments to drop without wanting to completely pull your hair out. But it takes, pun intended, experience playing the game to know, and you start figuring out, what enemies tend to have certain attributes. So you know how to use your team members to your best advantage. That's one of the things that I kind of wish was part of the game, because like you can go into the TARDIS and look at the Doctor and all your team members, and now you can just hold your finger and a little info box will pop up saying what the person's ability is. And I kind of wish with the levels it would give you like a little hint or something, like poison or stun or something, because sometimes I forget.
That's why you play the level to find out.
Yes.
Then you find out, if something poisons you for 999 turns, like, okay, I need a poison heal a character that does poison heal. Yeah. And that's how I got, what's her name? She's punishment medic?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that was, like, because there's companions, and I use the term loosely, quote unquote, and I was like, why are they giving me this one as a companion? This was never anything in the TV show, which now I understand how the game works, but when it started. So they give you that character, and I'm like, punishment medic? What do she doesn't even have a name. I don't even know who this is in the show. But she heals poison, and for a long time she was the only character who did, and she leveled up pretty darn quick, because there was a stretch where there were a lot of poison, a lot of enemies that poisoned, and I was like, I need this. And the great thing about her is her ability only takes 1 turn to kick in to become useful or become usable. I don't know what they call it. Anyway, so if you use it and an enemy poisons you again, hey, her special ability is powered up already, and you can be cured of poison. And it's like, yes. So for a long time, when I was doing the new levels, I was like, you are staying on my team, because I don't know if this level has a poison thing or not. But then I got the 6th Doctor, and one of his special ability is to poison enemies, and I love using poison against enemies, because I'm like, while I'm beating on this character, you're over here slowly dying, and I'm like,
yes. Which that struck me as funny, as they kept getting, because the team behind this, Tiny Rebel Games and the other people behind this game have done this completely with the BBC's blessing, and all of the characters, all of the doctors, all of the companions, living or not, they've gotten the okay from them to use their likeness in the game. So as we were getting more and more doctors and companions, and the Doctor, as far as the TV show goes, the Doctor generally is a bit of, I don't want to say a pacifist, but he doesn't like using weapons. He doesn't like to kill if he doesn't have a choice. And then we get the Sixth Doctor. I'm like, yes, it's my Doctor, Sixth Doctor. And it's like the first Doctor in the game that has like an offensive ability.
Well, the 11th Doctor, he did have, damage an enemy.
Yeah,
like
But it's just
1,000
damage.
points.
It's not
But
outright
that's just
poison.
damage. It's not. Yeah, it wasn't like poison is more. Yes, it's very much in keeping with the Sixth Doctor's personality, and that's the other thing I love about what Tiny Rebel Games does is, first off, they're very involved with the community of players, like on Twitter and Facebook and things. Like they will actively, especially at the beginning of when this was first starting, because they were advertising, hey, we're going to put Captain Jack in the game, but we want, we have a few ideas of what to call his special ability, but why don't you guys come up with a few? And they did the same thing with the Fifth Doctor. It's like, what do we want to call the Fifth Doctor's special ability? And I said, you got to call it Braveheart. That was one that I said, you got to do it. And then so that's his primary. And I'm not saying that I made them do it. I'm sure other people suggested it as well, and it was like, this is the overwhelming majority, call it Braveheart. But it was like kind of a little warm fuzzy, like, hey, they used my suggestion. And then the doctor, the character in the Doctor position, because sometimes they have other characters, but the Doctor, he has two. He has a primary and a secondary one. So like when the combos get up to a certain level, then they can do like their great big drop the bomb move. I don't know what to call it. And so for the Fifth Doctor, there's first move is Braveheart. The second one, I believe, is called Temporal Grace. It's not listed here, but I was like, yeah, that's the fifth. That's my 5e. That's 5e, totally. So anyway, but they were putting Captain Jack in there. That was the first time I think that they canvassed the fandom to say, what should we call Captain Jack's move? And I think and people just said, say hello.
Yeah, hello.
Have it be called hello, and it is hello. Which I think is hilarious. Yeah. I'm trying to find him. I think he's the yellow character.
Yeah, he is.
Nope, that's expert Captain Jack. Where are you?
Like River Songs
I had him in
spoilers.
his pixelated costume. That's why I couldn't find him. Yep, his move is called hello.
Yep. So.
Yeah, there's a section in here that's called Bigger on the Inside, and it's based on the pixelated Doctors. They teamed up with this web comic that the artwork it does all the characters and all the artwork. He does a storyline in where they're all pixelated, so they've just been using some of that artwork in the game because it's already been made, and it's kind of cool. It's like, hey, it's neat. So that's another special section.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then they did a whole big special storyline called The Hunt for Greyhound 1, and that's where you got the Brigadier, and I was like, oh, yay. And then there's an expert level I haven't got to yet, but you use all unit characters, which I'm excited to get to, although I've got to level up all those characters before I can actually do it. Or no, wait, it's not on the expert levels, it's somewhere else. I don't know where it is, but I'll find it. Expert adipose. They have with 3.0. They have a wave of another newer expert level. I'm like, they're going to give us an expert 8th Doctor. I'm so excited. Oh no, it was challenge levels that they had. The unit challenge that required all unit characters. There it is. And they are slowly getting characters from the classic series, like the Sonic Adventures has Joe Grant. So that's exciting. And her special move is Princess of TARDIS, and I'm like, oh yes, how can you not?
Yeah.
Princess of TARDIS. Mm-hmm. That's from one of my favorite stories, Curse of Peladon. And I know a lot of people like, ew, you like Curse of Peladon, and I'm just like, Stick it.
Yep. What you can do about it?
Like, come at me.
Yeah. Come at me, bro.
Come at me,
Yeah.
bro.
No,
Don't have me now.
it's like I said, that because they're doing this with the blessing of the BBC,
Yes, yes.
among other things. So, there's obvious references to stuff from the TV show, the comics, Big Finish. Although I don't think they've really touched on a whole lot of stuff from Big Finish, at least yet. But
Not
definitely,
yet.
definitely,
Charlie Pollard's
yeah,
here.
definitely the Titan comics, and then the TV show. And last year, and they're doing it again this year when Series 8 started. The episode would air, and then we get a level that went with that episode. So they know at least enough of what's happening on the TV show to make levels, so that they're ready to go as soon as right after that episode airs. So we got Robin Hood and we got an episode for every single story from Series 8, and they're going to do that again for Series 9, which is exciting.
They also do, like during Christmas, they did an advent calendar. So like every day there were promo codes that would give you like a costume or time fragments or some other thing, and then they had like in the fan area they had this whole big Last Christmas themed level, and then just kind of looking through the companions, like you were mentioning, they've done stuff with the comics and Big Finish. They've also done. They have Cinder. If you've read the novel Engines of War, she was the War Doctor's companion, and they actually, I mean, even though that was a book, and there really wasn't an actress or anything to base her off of the artwork off of, they still made a character for her, and I guess there is a lady, and her name escapes me, and anyway, but she actually modeled like a costume and a look for them to do the artwork for Cinder, so they could have that character in Doctor Who Legacy. She actually goes around to conventions with the costume, and she's a special guest, and I think she was at Galley last year, and she was like saying, "Hey, I played Cinder for Doctor Who Legacy," basically, and she's a character based off of she's a character from a novel. So I'm just like, Doctor Who Legacy, you rock. You got the novel characters in there. So yeah, so I do hope they get to do some more Big Finish stuff as well, because goodness knows there's plenty to
definitely
be had there.
Well, I need a Doctor Who Legacy Evelyn Smythe to go with my 6 daughters.
Yes, yes, they need to have Evelyn. Ooh, we should suggest it because they do take suggestions.
Oh yeah.
Like, hey.
Yeah.
And if enough people request it, they might. I mean, Big Finish has already, worked with them and have been willing to do so because Charlie Pollard's in here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they actually had her in there. It was part of a promotion when they had the Charlotte Pollard box set coming out. So they did kind of a cross promotion with Big Finish, like, hey, we have a Charlie Pollard in box set coming out. Go buy the thing.
Yeah.
And Big Finish said the same thing. They're like, here, you buy it. I don't remember if they had the promo code or not or something. Or they did an episode they did a Twitch broadcast, I guess is what you call it.
Yeah.
And they had the Big Finish guys talking with Adipose over there, and they're talking about the Charlie Pollard character and stuff. So they've done a lot of that.
Yeah. If you're not on Twitch, get on Twitch, and almost every Thursday, Adipose TV does a broadcast, and he'll play, and he usually has someone from Tiny Rebel Games on, and they'll give out things like codes for fragments or costumes or characters or whatever. Sometimes they'll have people on. They had Katie Manning on recently. So
they were previewing Joe Grant.
Yeah. So there's.
I love Joe Grant's artwork. I'm looking at it now. She just makes me happy.
So there's
I guess I should say.
yeah, there's opportunities for chances to interact with the folks over at Tiny Rebel Games. They'll also be at conventions. They're usually at Galley. I know they were at Wizard World Chicago recently. You can find that stuff out if you sign up for their newsletter, which the newsletter also sometimes gets you codes.
Yes.
Those oh so precious codes.
And even if it's just I use in air quotes time fragments, collect those like nobody's business because you need them when you're trying to level up your characters. Yes. And do the daily logins because that's how I ended up with 32 time crystals. Because every 5 days, if you do it consistently, you get time crystals. But then you also get time fragments along the way. So it's like, yes, collect those.
Mm-hmm.
Those are very valuable.
Very much so.
Where am I? There they are. Yeah. I have 101 of the Omega time fragments. You can have a maximum of 250 time fragments for each type. And I rarely, because I'm usually, if I'm farming them, I rarely keep that many because I'm trying to get my characters leveled up. So having over 100 of any kind of time fragment, I'm like, dude, that's amazing.
Yeah. I would probably have that many if I hadn't stepped away from the game for like 4 or 5 months. Life got in the way, and nobody had time for that, and I was like, oh, I should at least log in and get my, my daily bonus, and I never did, and then they finally got around to, releasing 3.0. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start playing again.
So. Yeah, I mean, because I use my iPad for work every day, so that reminds me because I'm like, okay, I'll quickly log in and while I'm getting all my stuff set up and things, and so because it does take a little while to load, but that's just a thing, and so then I tap to log in and boom, it's right there like you have 2 blue time crystals or 2 pink ones or whatever day I'm on, like, you've collected 2 time crystals. I'm like, heck yes!
Yeah.
You can actually, there's a store you can actually buy, quote unquote, some characters. Like, I mean, most of these characters I think you can just collect in the game, but if you don't want to, try to get those characters to drop in a level, you can just buy them in the store. And that's another way, like, to support Doctor Who Legacy, because, and I guess I will channel Glenn here a little bit, is because, like I said, everything on this game is free to play, but you can buy, you can spend, so like to unlock the fan area, you buy, $5 worth of time crystals, or you buy 6 time crystals. That unlocks the fan area. So you get time crystals to use in the game. It unlocks the fan area, and it's kind of like and this is what Glenn said last year or the year before, I can't remember now. Mm-hmm. That this game is not some cheapo, it's free, but here's a whole bunch of ads to. I mean, they do it. They do an option to have ads now, but if you unlock the fan area, you don't have to. But I mean, this game is not cheap to make. I can definitely see where there's a lot of love and care put into this, and if you feel like that if you can't afford it, don't worry about it. But if you feel like you've gotten enough, entertainment, enjoyment out of this game, send them $5, and you get the fan area, and it's really awesome. And you get all kinds of cool stuff, and, you go from there, you can get the kids area or the Sonic Adventures area, but that's not necessary, because the episodes, or, the regular chapters, there really is just a whole lot, really a lot to love and play here, and, and, like, Rachel said, and and I'll echo that, we're not hardcore gamers. Mitch, are you, like, how do you classify yourself as a gamer? Yeah, no. I enjoy it. but I know people who are way more into it than I am, and that's okay. But and I know the Vortex boys, they're big time into gaming, and they love this game. I mean, it seems pretty simple, but at the same time, there's a level of challenge to it that gamers really enjoy. But then there's also, like, if you're a Doctor Who fan, you're like, I like it. Like, I get to see my favorite characters in the game. Like, when Donna Noble was in the game, I was like, finally, Donna's here. And now I'm like, okay, now I want to see what they do with other classic companions. Like, I want Ian and Barbara in this game. Like, yeah, let's do that. Like,
it's a matter of time, really. Yeah. And a lot of it comes down to them getting the okay from the person or the person's estate to use their likeness. And so far, everybody that they've approached, they've been able to get, even with the new story right now at the Sonic Adventures with all versions of the Master, and that includes Eric Roberts.
Yes.
Which I was really surprised when they made that announcement saying they got all the Masters. I was like, really? Eric Roberts gave the okay for this?
Yeah, and like even where you go into Sonic Adventure and there's like the little banner that has that is kind of the preview banner, that version of the Master is front and center, and I'm like, dude, they got it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's the Drez for the occasion.
Yes, which when you start the Sonic Adventures, I've only been playing the free, but I've been playing it, and they bring in that version of the Master, and I was so expecting him to say, "Sorry, I was dressing for the occasion," and to be in the game. Sadly, it's not. But
I mean, the Master is the villain in this game. But if he ever became a playable character, his special ability has to be dressing for the occasion. Yeah. if they ever finagle away, like, maybe like Bizarro World, Doctor Who Legacy, where the Master takes the place of the Doctor, and that version of the Master, that has to be his special move.
Yeah.
That has to be what it's called.
Yeah.
I don't know what the other ones would be called. Missy, I'm sure we could come up with something.
Yeah. Say something nice.
Say something nice. Yeah, that would be a good one.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's funny because, I mean, like I said, they get the okay to use everyone's likeness, and I guess for some of them, they've probably given the okay and haven't thought twice about it. Because like last year when I was at PopCon, and I went to have my picture with Sylvester McCoy, and I thought it would be cool to have my iPad with Doctor Who Legacy open with his Doctor's, his Doctor Who Legacy version of himself on the screen. And he said he'd never seen it before.
Oh,
that was the
maybe
first,
they give the okay.
Yeah.
Maybe they give the okay and then they just don't see the artwork yet, or because they get busy. But
yeah. But I thought that was funny. He's like, I haven't seen that. Like, well, now you have.
Yeah, I have. And the artwork is really good. I mean, they even have the War Doctor in here. He was one of the earlier ones, I believe, and it was so cute when they announced it that they were going to introduce the War Doctor. It was like, with great pride and honor and reverence, we have the War Doctor as played by John Hurt, and his that's the expert level, but anyway, but yeah, his is really good, and his special, because the Doctor has two special abilities. His first one is called No More, and the second one's called Gallifrey Stands. And I love using Gallifrey Stands because it deals 40% damage to all enemies' current HP.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes. Although No More is good too because it stuns all enemies for 4 turns. And I'm like, that's useful. So I like playing the War Doctor. Yeah. I will play the 5th Doctor when it's a level that the green characters are useful against, because he drops in a lot of green gems.
Mm. You find yourself getting partial to certain characters and character combinations.
Yep, and then when you like switch to a different team, you're like, wait a minute, you gotta, because you could make up to 5 different teams and have them sitting there. Although you can also buy, well, I say buy with your time crystals, an extra slot for another team if you want. And really, all you do is you just go in and you just kind of play around with it, mess with it. And there is one website that I've been using to, because I've been kind of plugging my way through the expert levels, because you can get the expert versions of certain characters, and some of them were like way hard, and I'm like, I don't know which characters' abilities I should use. So I found a website that's gone through and lists all these different strategies and what kind of teams to build, what perks to use, because we haven't really talked about the perk system.
Yeah.
But it's been really useful for me just to kind of see, okay, what kind of characters, and some characters, I mean, there's a lot of characters that have the same kind of moves, like, stun enemy for 2 moves, or, do so much damage, or change one color of gem to another color of gem. The only move I have found has not been very useful, and it's one that the 4th Doctor had.
I forget what the 4th Doctor, what he does. Did we lose Chrissy? Did we lose me? No, we may have lost Chrissy. we were teasing.
It looks like we did.
We lost Chrissy. Oh no!
It says she's connecting.
I'm sure she'll be back in a moment.
Yeah.
The game. I had the game out.
The kids area.
Yeah.
Not the preview, the free stuff, the free part of it.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that, and so far.
Can you hear me?
Nope, there she is. She's
back.
I'm back. It was because I wasn't it.
Yes, that's exactly what it was.
The Vortex Boys invaded Skype, and they cut me off because I was slagging off their doctor. Hey, it's not their doctor. It's the Doctor Who Legacy version of him. Oh, anyway, that was funny.
Yeah. Anyway, what were you saying, Mitch?
Just that I haven't dropped any of the costumes yet of any of the levels that I played, but never mind that. I just dropped.
You just did.
Doctor Kid style costume.
That's usually the way it works. Is you'll play and play and play, and you won't get the drops, and then the minute you get on like social media, and you're like, they won't drop, and then it does.
Yep. I do like the kids area artwork. I think it's cute.
Yeah, it is.
I just dropped the kids area artwork 10th Doctor costume. So
I love the River song
one,
that they have.
and then see if I can go back and get like costumes.
Yeah, the costumes aren't as
This one has 3 people.
The costumes are just kind of a fun thing.
The costumes are just a fun thing. They don't
It's fun, but
they don't do anything with the gameplay. But if you're a completionist, like a lot of us are, like we need them. We need all the things.
Mm-hmm. And going back to that whole gaming culture sort of thing, a lot of people in a lot of different games, they like to customize the look of their characters. It has nothing to do with it doesn't affect how the characters play or what they can do. It's just fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yes, fun is good.
Well, and some of them look better than others. I mean, for the most part, they've done a really good job of getting the likeness of everyone, but some definitely look better than others and more accurate than others.
That is true. There was one. Well, there've been a couple that I'm like, really?
Yeah.
That's what you're gonna have them look like? Okay.
Yeah. There's for the most part they're pretty good. I know personally me, I think the 7th Doctor could use a little work. I think the 9th Doctor could use a little work in the way they look, but that's just me. And
well, there's different versions of because I've got the 9th Doctor set on his the comic book version of him, and I kind of like that one.
yeah, the
one that kind of
comic
freaks
book the comic book
me out though
portraits
is the 9th Doctor. Yeah.
I
Well,
think
that kind of freaks me out. It's the 9th Doctor in the War Doctor's outfit where he just regenerated, and I'm just kind of like, not a fan. But I will go back, and he will be the comic book cover, and I like that one.
Yeah.
Although it looks kind of funny because when you're looking at your list of Doctors in the TARDIS area, like I've got the 10th Doctor, 11th Doctor, and 9th Doctor, all as the comic book, and it's very realistic, the comic book, because it almost looks like a photograph of them. And then I have the first Doctor in his pixelated version. And it looks a little silly.
I have,
but it's
listed my Doctors are in their pixelated costumes, but I also have the Sonic's first Doctor and the expert level 12th Doctor, and they don't have pixelated costumes, so they look out of place.
Yeah.
With all the pixelated Doctors. And River doesn't have a pixelated costume either. She's like the version of her that's in with the Doctors, the one that can leave the team. For those
the Professor River song when they were in the library.
Those specific levels.
Yeah. So, or she does the Illuminate move where it'll get rid of the shadows in the library, which is nice because those levels were kind of freaky. I was like, what am I doing? Professor River song, help!
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a stretch in the story where you lose the Doctor and River Song is the only one that can do it. But it's a different version of River Song than the companion River Song that you have. Which I have her in her Utah outfit because I like the way her hair looks in that one. But once I get the kids version unlocked, I think I might switch her over to that because that one is really cool looking.
Yeah.
And then that one will be like way out of place, but I won't care.
Yeah. Again, it does not really affect the gameplay other than how it looks.
How it looks to you.
Sometimes that matters.
Sometimes it does.
Yep. It does. Yeah. Although because I got Polly, I really like the outfit they put her in. It's kind of her with the hat, and it's up. It was the one that she's in at the end of the War Machines, and she's got the hat and the jacket and the. I don't remember if she had jeans, but it was a black and white episode, so I wouldn't really know anyway. But I really like that costume. I'm like, man, I wonder if I could do that for a cosplay. Nobody would know who I was, probably, but I would still do it because it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you did it at a Doctor Who specific convention.
Yes, that is true. Like, I'm Polly. Even then, they'd be like, oh, her, with all the missing episodes.
Yeah.
Yes, her, with all the missing episodes.
I would know.
Yeah, we would know.
You would know.
You could just go around saying, I'm not missing, I was found in a...
Yes.
I'm not missing anymore. See, I'm right here.
We're back!
Yeah. Sorry, the joke was there. I had to go with it.
Yep. It's a good joke. You know what is fun, though? Because there are several different versions of some of the characters. Like, there's Amy Pond, there is Special Agent Amy Pond, there's the girl who waited, and then I think there's an expert Amy Pond. And what you can do is you can have a whole team with a doctor, the whole team of Amy Ponds. Maybe.
We're close to
because
it.
there's different versions.
Almost.
Or close to it.
I don't know.
Almost. I guess I could throw Rory in there, like Amy and Rory, all the way down.
Come along, Ponds.
Come along, Ponds.
Yep.
So I have expert Rory, I have normal Rory, I have special agent Rory somewhere.
And that's another thing too, is they obviously they pay attention to the suggestions, and sometimes they want to give people what they want, but they need a little help. And I know that they did that with Rory's Roman outfit, is they put a call out there for people to help, and people could donate, and that helped cover the cost. And now we've got Rory the Roman.
I love his Roman outfit. It's the one I have him set to now, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, because his normal one's cool and all, but I was like, when I got Rory, I was like, okay, we need a Roman version of Rory.
Mm-hmm.
Just has to happen.
Yeah. For me, Rory is pretty much default. That's the outfit he's in, and that's where he's going to stay, is in his Roman outfit. So.
Although I'm looking at Charlie all of a sudden, Charlie Pollard. I'm looking at her outfit, and I'm like, I like it, but it's not. I don't know what I imagined when I'm listening to Big Finish. I don't know, but I like the outfit that they did. It just wasn't what I was expecting, because it's kind of this. It's like all black. There's a gray T-shirt under it. I mean, she's from the 1930s, and so you kind of think, okay, maybe a dress or something. Nope, she's like, got black pants, black boots, a black jacket, and with gold accents, and then there's kind of this black belt with gold accents kind of a thing. I think it's a belt, or maybe it's a corset. I don't know. It's kind of steampunky a little bit. Not the whole outfit, just that one little part. I'm like, where did you get this? Or is this like what officers or underlings on the R101 would wear? I don't know. I'm kind of curious where they got this design, because it's cool. I'm just like, how'd you come up with this? And maybe I should look it up.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. Oh, and also
outfits can change in Big Finish. The Sixth Doctor has a blue version of his Patrick outfit in Big Finish, and it's not like you see it, but it does exist.
Yeah, that's what they should do for the Sixth Doctor, is to have his blue outfit as a costume option.
No, I'm sure they'll get around to it eventually.
I don't know why they haven't done that.
I'm sure a lot of the things that we're thinking of are probably like it's on their list, and they'll get to it eventually.
Yeah. Oh, but I have to say, because I unlocked Sonic Adventures, and I got the Sonic Adventures team. They have a Mickey. They have a version of Mickey. They call him Cool Mickey, because he's got it's how he looked at the end of time, with the black beanie and the black everything. Yeah. And he's got the really kind of gruff look on his face. I mean, not that normal Mickey looks like an idiot, but I mean, everybody else.
The Ninth Doctor would disagree.
SA for Sonic Adventure, but it's SA Cool Mickey. Like,
poor Mickey.
Oh, that was
the Tin Dog.
You guys heard? Yeah, you guys. Yep. So there's two versions of Mickey now. Although, you guys heard the story of how Noel Clark told Tiny Rebel Games that he wanted to be in the game, right?
Yeah.
When he was at Chicago, So like he was doing a panel, and someone was asking him, like, have they asked you to be in Doctor Who Legacy? I guess during the panel they were talking about how much like he was into gaming, and he put out his code to, he was so good at Super Mario Kart, and he's like, anyone wants to play me, here's my code, or I'll put it up on Twitter and I'll totally play you, or I'll challenge anyone wants to challenge me to Mario Kart, I'll totally do it. Like, he was all over that. And so someone asked, well, why aren't you in Doctor Who Legacy? He's like, well, I've told them already. So like while he was on stage, he actually tweeted to the Doctor Who Legacy team, yes, put Mickey in, I want to be in this game. And now he's there twice. And that weekend or the week after, they're like, oh hey, Mickey is now a playable character. Darn right.
So while Sylvester McCoy may not pay attention, apparently no Clark did.
No Clark did.
It's a good game. It's a good game. I'm excited to see what the levels and characters we get for Series 9 coming up, and what else they come out with for 3.0. So it's always nice to know you got new levels coming on a weekly basis for a couple months while Doctor Who is on.
I mean, it was nice to have like the expert levels like as a challenge, but after a while, it's kind of because I would have to level up certain characters for my little strategy thing. But after a while, I was like, you know what? I want something new.
Mm-hmm.
And now we've got it. So exciting. So if you aren't playing Doctor Who Legacy and you have the means to do so, like a smartphone, tablet, whatever, you really ought to be playing it. Because it's just a whole lot of fun, and if you're like a super novice, not really into gaming, but you like Doctor Who, you'll love it. If you're a really hardcore gamer and you like Doctor Who, or even if you don't, you'll probably enjoy it. Just give it a try. We've been talking about a lot of different things, and it may seem overwhelming, but like I said, once you start, there is a certain amount of hand holding, and it doesn't
there is.
It doesn't dump everything on you.
Tutorials and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And we should link to Adipose TV because his stuff, even at the very beginning, he had his YouTube videos up and was kind of showing. That's where I learned a lot of how to do a lot of these different things, because I was still playing it like Bejeweled, like, oh, I only get to move one gem. And that didn't help me. But then I watched those videos, and there's like, no, you can move them all around and have the whole team attack if you can manage it. And like, oh. And, he goes over strategy and perks and what characters work best against different ones and that sort of thing. So look up Adipose TV on YouTube, because he'll have tutorials, or on Twitch if you're there. You can do that. And just have fun with it. You make it your own. You can make up your own teams. Whatever combinations work. Like if you try a combination that doesn't work, go back and fix a couple of things. Just play your favorite characters. Even if you don't really care about strategy, whole team of Amy's or Rory's. And there's also Rory the Handbot. So there's another put on your team. Or play all unit, or play, all a certain Doctor's companions. Or I'm getting to the point with these Sonic Adventures, I'm going to have a whole team of Sonic screwdrivers.
Yeah.
I definitely have enough for that by now.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. Or, play all, season... Series 7, all Adipose, or Silence, or the Winders, Dalek companions.
Rusty's
there. Oswald's there. Guess you could play a bunch of Claras too, because there's Clara Expert, and Oswin.
Mm-hmm.
Santa's in it too.
Yep.
You could play vehicles. There's the Kumobile, there's Bessie, and the TARDIS.
Mm-hmm.
And there's K9.
Mm-hmm. The game crashed on me, and I haven't reopened it yet. But there's 170 slots for companions.
Yes.
So.
There are tons of different things you could do.
Mm-hmm. And there's more slots for more doctors, because you've got all 13.
Yeah, plus the expert versions.
Plus whatever else they decide to come up with. So
they've got Professor River's Song. They've got this one, Madman with the Box. The picture is just the TARDIS. But the level that I got it from, it was an expert level, and it was like a celebration level. I think it was put out on Legacy's birthday. So they had this level where you played against Zygons impersonating each of the incarnations of the Doctor. So there were 13 rounds in this level, and each one it was a Zygon impersonating the Doctor. So I guess there's actually 14, because whenever there's a Zygon level, they play a wave where it's a Zygon, and then the next one is, oh, we're impersonating, whatever character, and it's the Doctor, so it was kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm beating up on the 12th Doctor. And then your prize for winning that was Mad Men with a Box, and it's the TARDIS, basically, and it's in black and white. And it's funny because on the profile page it says the name of it, and its race is a TARDIS, origin Gallifrey, first episode Unearthly Child, notable associates the Doctor. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna say this is the TARDIS as we saw it in An Unearthly Child. That's my headcanon for that, because it's in black and white. So anyway, I don't know what else to say about this game. I mean, I'm sure there's more, but I really haven't touched the perk system, but that's kind of a whole nother ball game.
Yeah.
Perk system's kind of fun to play with.
Yeah, figure out the right it all comes down to just playing with it and figuring it out.
Yep.
Figuring out combinations of Doctor,
there's really
companions,
no way to screw this game up.
Perks,
yeah. Playing. You just kind of discover new things as you play and go through the levels. And find your favorites, find the ones you like to play with, and level them up, and just mess around with it. That's all you can really do. I mean, it's free to download. You don't have, like you said, you don't have to spend any money on this to play through the regular episode or the regular levels. There's just extra stuff that if you want to spend money on it, you can, and that helps support it, but it's not a requirement to play. Like you can, and you collect time fragments in the game. You collect time crystals in the game, so you can use those time crystals in the store to buy things if you want to. But most of those characters will drop in normal gameplay. You might have to spend a few hours trying to get them to drop, but it is doable.
Hours,
I have done this.
Months.
Yeah.
Yes.
Playing the same level.
Decades, it feels like. Yes.
And you get to know these levels very, very well.
Yeah.
And that's how you figure out these strategies.
Yeah.
Is playing and failing and saying, okay, I'm going to go try something else.
They keep adding levels. It gets harder for me to remember what's what.
Yeah. I mean, if there's a level you're stuck on, focus on that one, and then you can remember that. Because it's kind of like, back when I was a kid, I was playing Donkey Kong Country 2, which is like my favorite video game of all time for Super Nintendo. And I would get stuck on certain levels, and I would, try to figure out, okay, do this a certain way, or I need to go back and get this thing, or whatever. And that's the fun of gaming, is you fail so many times, and then you come back and you figure it out, like, oh, this is what I'm doing wrong, and so let me try this other thing and see if it actually works.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing here. So anyway, and then I guess we'll put in a plug for Traveling the Vortex. They used to do a Doctor Who Legacy tip of the week.
If they have one.
Sometimes if they have one. So sometimes it'll be, maybe one they've come up with, or if you have one, you can email it to them at feedback@travelingthevortex.com.
Mm-hmm.
And say, hey, I have a Doctor Who Legacy tip of the week, and Sean will speak into the microphone, and Glenn will make it. Glenn will make it all echoey, and it'll sound cool, and that's their fun little segment. And so listen for that. If you listen to Traveling the Vortex, they'll hook you up with some good tips.
Mm-hmm.
And I will also put a link to this website that I found that I have been using. If you are on they have like expert level strategies. So if you're on the expert levels and you're having the toughest time getting through them, this list has some really good strategies, and I've been using this religiously. I don't think I've closed this window in like 3 or 4 months on my iPad. I just keep it there, so I have it. So, I mean, if this works for you, use it. Because those expert levels are a beast. And I even went looking, I'm like, I need to know how to do this, and now I'm in the age of the internet where people have done this for me. I don't have to sit and do this all day long. So I'm like, man, if I had the internet when I was a kid and I was playing video games, I think I probably would have stuck with it a lot more. That's kind of why I gave up, because they were too hard. Some of them.
We're beyond the years of using the Game Shark on your Nintendo 64.
Yep. I never even went beyond. I never really went beyond Super Nintendo. I still love Super Nintendo. Anyway, that's another discussion for another day.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be a topic in the future.
Probably.
We'll talk about our favorite geeking consoles or something.
Probably. Most definitely. Absolutely. Yeah. So, like I said, it's free. Download it, play it. If you don't like it, you're not at any money. If you do like it, be prepared to, lose hours and hours and hours. Don't sit down and play thinking you're like, okay, I've got 10 minutes. I can knock out maybe a level or two. Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, you really need to sit down.
Longer than you think it will.
Yes. Yep. And, yeah. And be prepared to play without any distractions, because you can't walk away.
No, you can't.
Even though most of the levels are not timed, you can't set it down and let your device go to sleep. It doesn't work like that.
No. If you try and
go
to sleep. If it goes to sleep, it will. The app will reload when you wake it up again.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's that is one design flaw. Although it used to, because I used to play it on my phone. If I got a phone call and I was in the middle of a level, even if it was someone I was going to ignore, it used to totally reset and I'd lose all my progress on my level. But then I quit doing that. So that is they did fix that. So good on them for that.
Well,
but now I'm playing my iPad.
I play on my iPad, and if I get any sort of notification, it freezes. It doesn't stop entirely, and it will just take a minute to process that it should be it disrupts the game. So if I'm moving a gem and I get a notification, you can't move that gem anymore.
Because I've been sitting here kind of messing with it as we've been talking, and I got a text, and it didn't do anything to it, but I don't know.
Maybe it's just my device.
Oh, and
if I get a notification, it's like the app doesn't know what to do in the event of a notification being pushed through.
Weird. Interesting.
And it's it takes a minute to get going again and perform the action that I was and whatever.
Yeah.
Which is really annoying, but it doesn't happen all that often, so.
So it's something you can kind of deal with. Usually.
Yeah. It's annoying.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh, one other thing I was going to mention is, and this is going back to those whole customization things that don't really affect gameplay, but they look pretty, is you can go into settings. No, it's options, and then there's the settings tab. You can actually change the way that the gems look. There's a default, there's Christmas, Van Gogh, the Beast, Daleks, Master, Ood, Silent, Roundels. The Roundels look kind of freaky. Well, not freaky, but they're hard to get used to for some reason.
I like the Roundels,
the round
but
things.
The black gems are white with it.
Oh, okay. That would make sense. And then there's a Cyberman. I haven't played with Colorblind, but it doesn't look like something I want to try because it's all just the...
I tried it once, but it's all mixed up.
If you're colorblind,
I
it
think
works,
I like
but...
the Roundels because it's one of the few ones where the red gems actually look red to me.
Oh, okay.
For most of it, the red gems look orange.
Mm-hmm. Understandable.
And I didn't realize that they were red until I used the perk that affected red gems, and it affected the ones that look orange to me. I'm like, those are red? And I asked Alex, like, do these look red? Like, what color do these look? Does this gem look like? And it's like red, and like, it looks orange to me.
Huh. Interesting. The ones I like to play with the most
because it's a nice simple design, and the red ones actually look red.
Well, there you go. The ones I like to play with, I play with the most, and like I've gotten to the point where if I go back to the default, it looks funny to me. I play with the 12th, which are the way they're designed. It's like the 12th Doctor theme song or theme opening titles, where they have all the clockwork gears. Each one has a design with the clockwork gears, and I like it because for some reason in my mind the green gems look like limes. They're like you cut them like when you cut a lime in half, and it's got like the circle. And anyway, it looks like a lime for some reason. Although for a while, and I understand where you're coming from, Mitch. Not with the red gems looking not red, because for a long time when I tried that one, the red and the pink gems looked very similar, but then I kind of had to train my brain, and I don't know why I stuck with the 12th Doctor gems, maybe just because I liked the way the green ones looked. And I was like, so I finally figured out, and the pink gems and the 12th Doctor design, they actually have a little cross in the middle, like, a health symbol. So that helped, but then I finally, when I'd see them side by side, I'm like, okay, that one is definitely pink, that one is definitely red. So I could see that. But maybe I'll have to go back at the default and look at the red ones again. The Christmas ones are fun because, like, the red ones have a red stocking. The green ones have a tree. One of them's got a snowflake. It's been a while since I played with the Christmas gems, but those are kind of fun to play with. And I haven't played with the Cyberman ones. But anyway, so you can, mess around with that. And if you want to help support the game, and you've already bought the fan area, you can there is actually an option to turn on the ads, because some people did ask about that, and because they weren't going to do that, but then they said, people asked, like, well, can I have ads anyway? Because that helps support them financially so they can continue to make the game. And so that is an option if you so choose. I haven't done it because I haven't, and ads in iPad games kind of annoy me. Bejeweled, I'm looking at you. I buy enough like crystals and things from Doctor Who Legacy, and I'm like, I can justify not doing that, and it's free anyway. So
yeah.
Anyway, so that's Doctor Who Legacy. And if there's anything else you guys want to talk about,
all I know is now that I'm back to playing, I have no free time now. What free time I had is now
it's gone.
It's gone.
Totally gone.
Yep.
I changed my gems to roundels. I'm gonna check. Oh yeah, that definitely is red. Oh, what in the heck are these enemies? I don't want to know. I'm back on the Sonic Adventure levels, and it's like I'm trying to get the 5th Doctor Sonic Screwdriver, and I think this is supposed to be smoke, but I'm not really sure. Oh, it turned everything red. Good job, guys. This will be interesting. I'll have to retrain my brain. Anyway, we probably ought to close up shop so we can get back to our time wasting Doctor Who Legacy.
Yeah.
Anyway, if we haven't convinced you to play Doctor Who Legacy, we're sorry. But if we have convinced you to play Doctor Who Legacy, we're sorry. Yep. In a good way. We love you, Doctor Who Legacy. If we didn't, we wouldn't still be sitting here talking about it, because it is just a fun, wonderful game.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Anyway, so just to close up, as usual, you can we love to hear from our listeners and our friends. If you want to leave us feedback, you can do so at the Five-ish Fangirls podcast.blogspot.com. That is our website, and from there you can find our email, which is fiveishfangirls@gmail.com. You can also leave us a comment at Facebook or on Twitter. We also have a Tumblr, and we have Pinterest and Instagram, and we are on iTunes, which is wonderful because people can actually find us on iTunes. It's just fabulous. And leave us a review if you're on iTunes, because that helps other people find us and to share in the squee as well. And if you can, support us on Patreon, because that helps us bring our lovely, wondrous squeeness to your lovely, wondrous eardrums, earbuds, listening ears. I'm kind of distracted right now. I'm trying to feed these smoke monsters. I don't even know what the heck this is. But I'm playing it, and I'm enjoying the heck out of it. So, that's it. I think I've plugged this all out. And the book club on Goodreads. I had intentions this month. My intentions went awry. I was going to read the book, and I didn't. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like y'all are enjoying it, and I'm happy. What's the review? That would be a good thing. Yeah. So.
Yep. I didn't think we'd be able to wax poetic so long about a
Oh, we did.
a game like this, but
they've given us so much to talk about.
That's true.
There's a story behind it, and there are several stories behind this whole game, and you just have to play it to find it out. And they're so good, and I loved Hunt for Greyhound 1, which I won't go into because we've already waxed lyrical about everything. But that's the one with the Brigadier, and it's just so cool because they're looking for the Brigadier, and I'm just like, yes, look for the Brigadier, find the Brigadier, let me play the Brigadier, because I love the Brigadier.
Yeah.
And I did, and it was awesome, and it was just so cool. Anyway,
I remember that was around Christmas. I remember just playing through that whole storyline, is going and finally dropping the Brigadier, and then it's not done.
Yes.
And then the story is not done yet. You have to get out of wherever.
Yeah. Which is nice, because that makes sense, because a lot of games are like, yay, we got to the castle, we rescued the princess. Well, get out of there now. We don't have to. We can rescue the princess. It's like, no, you gotta get out. How are you getting out? Do you have an exit strategy? What?
You got in? How are you getting out? Yeah. But it was like, done. And like, no, not done.
Not done yet, which makes sense.
Yeah. So, and then I played all through the levels getting out. So
there you go. Anyway.
Yep.
If that's it for this week.
Yep. Let's sign off, I guess.
Well, and the tip of the week, I think, actually started when I wrote in feedback to Traveling the Vortex, asking what team to use for a particular level.
Oh, yeah.
I think I remember that now.
So
blame Mitch.
Listen.
Well, credit her.
Like, I wrote down the characters Glenn suggested, and then I leveled them up, and then I used them, and I beat the level using those characters. So, yay!
It worked.
That.
So
It worked.
that inspired the Doctor Who Legacy tip of the week.
Yeah.
I don't think I did it very well. Glenn, you can give me feedback on that. Tell me how to do better. Or Sean, if you're listening.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Anyway.
Alrighty. Anybody have anything else?
I don't
I
think
don't.
so.
Nope. Okay. All right then. Well, with that, well, let's
We were
sign.
all like,
Let's sign
we were all
off.
like, we don't have anything.
Yep. It's the way it is with us.
We lied.
Mm. All right, let's sign off for this week.
Alright, this is Chrissy saying goodnight from Salt Lake City. It's weird not having Brittany here to pick me up.
Mitch saying goodnight from Kitchener, Ontario.
We'll get sorted out eventually. And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana, and to paraphrase Effie Trinket, may the gems be ever in your favor.
You have been listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. Any and all movies, books, games, and other forms of media mentioned are owned and operated by the respective copyright holders. No copyright infringement is intended or implied.